Right, all components met. I don't like that sideways movement, but it is what it is. Remember, we're working a $100,000 account for the competition, and we're a little over. We're a little over 100%. One of the observations that I made over the weekend, the NASDAQ, our breakout strategy on the NASDAQ has been so profitable, and every time I tried to take a trade on like crude oil or micro Bitcoin or, whatever. All right, let's see if we get a follow through here. Every time I tried to take a trade on one of those other assets, I was just given back all the profit that I made on the breakout strategy. This is really the first competition that I traded something else other than the NASDAQ breakout strategy, right? Every competition that we've been in so far, I have only used our trend cloud breakout strategy on the NASDAQ. And we've been coming in, top 10%, top 8%, So probably a good idea to just stick with that. But it's a great experiment. It's such a great experiment because now you can see like, oh, okay, when I'm really working a six-figure account, here's the amount of money that I can bring in using this one strategy. And we brought in like what, over $30,000 that month. So that's pretty significant, you know. And it's because you're able to absorb, these drawdowns. You're able to absorb the drawdown. So now here's a situation where, let's see, another minute left on that 5-minute candle. We really want to see one of those 5-minute candles break out, close above. So we're being a bit aggressive here, right? We're taking the actual breakout of the opening range and these candles here. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, 30K. I know. Super excited. Super excited about that, Kazi. Super excited to start. I'm going to focus on the competition this month, and I really want to shoot for first place. $8,500, but there's already people on the board who have, I think, $50,000 already in profits, and I don't see where that's coming from. I really don't. I mean, do you guys? I don't see. You see what we're doing every day here. We're only allowed to trade one contract of the NASDAQ. If it's just day 6 and these people have over $50,000 on the board, it's a little strange to me because if we're all trading, it's almost like it's almost like they're allowed to trade, 5 or 6 contracts of the NASDAQ. Then I could see on day 6 you've got 50,000 on the board, but I don't know. Don't you think that's a bit odd? Don't you think that's strange? I think the NASDAQ is the one thing that you can trade where you can make the most profit, but it's very odd. It's just very odd. Nice. We've got a nice candle forming on the 1-hour chart there. That's a nice bullish candle. We've got to get through this supply, and it might just kind of bounce back and forth. There's the ADR checkpoint. Wouldn't that be nice, guys? Look how far away that is. First ADR checkpoint, $5,000. We can leave it on until it gets to until that ADR checkpoint, and look at where it is on the 3-hour chart. That doesn't look very far, right? In fact, on the 3-hour chart, right here, right at the body of the candle, it's almost at, here's the body of the candle here on the 3-hour chart. Oh, I see. And then here, yeah, right here, daily chart, man. DR checkpoint is in that daily chart, that daily supply zone. All right, Kazi, have a good one. Have a good one, buddy. Pulling back here, and we kind of called that, right? Perhaps we're going to sort of bounce around. I don't really want to see a full pullback into the lower part of the opening range. We want to stay sort of above here, consolidate, make some kind of a breakout, but we still have it. We still have trend and momentum on our side. Right. And so, yeah, on a $100,000 account, this is nothing. So this really isn't affecting us. This is less than 1% risk, and we're working with over 100,000, and we'll see how this this shapes out. If it doesn't work, go back to the 15-minute. Wow, yeah, see, it has not recalculated yet. It has not recalculated yet. Perhaps we get one more move, right? We get one more move out of this, 6, and then we get a breakdown. Previous day's high right here. It's also a good target, right? Previous day's high. So we shall see if we can make it to that previous day's high and then start trailing it, right? We can start to trail everything. Here comes the breakout again, trying to break out of that opening range there. Can't really move our stop loss yet. Nice, we've got another 13 minutes. This could really break through. You can see how the 50 simple on the 1-hour chart has stopped flashing red, kind of grabbed a hold of the upward trend. CCI is showing you that as well, moving away from the 0 line. That's excellent, right? That's really good news. If we were in on this little demand zone here, that would have been very nice. Mitigated risk a bit, but we wanted to stick with the actual breakout. All right. We're going to let that do what it's going to do. Now let's jump over to gold and take a look, see what's going on with gold here. I was working on some of the programming. I was working on our gold strategy, trying to tweak it a bit. And I did manage to make an observation on our gold strategy. Let's bring up the 15-minute chart here. Okay, we're kind of going sideways on gold as well, inside a demand zone. See, here's that extended trend, 7th wave, pulls back, recalculates. Now we're going sideways again. Okay, so if we bring up the actual gold strategy, and I'll pull it up on that's the CCI one. Here we go. Very nice numbers, right? Very nice numbers on gold. Outperforming buy and hold, 69, almost 70% accurate. Nice profit factor, outperforming buy and hold. Let's turn this off. I've noticed that taking the crossover when we have our CCI above the 0 line, 3-hour CCI for a long should be above the 0 line. 1-hour CCI should be above the 0 line. And then if you get this crossover, like right here, we would not have taken this trade, right? If you can see, go long here. We get the crossover, produces the long signal, but look at where CCI is, right? 3-hour chart. Let me put a line so you can see. 3-hour chart below the 0 line. 1-hour chart, I would say that's still below the 0 line, also in a downtrend, right? So you're kind of going against the trend and momentum. So you would not take that trade. And then what I did here, I tried to add that function, and we got some very nice results. It actually gave us a better drawdown. A little less, right? A little less win rate, but very effective, right? So this one here, I'll update it, and you can also go long and short, and you can toggle that. Only enable shorts. Here's only short trades, right? And if you take a look here, you get the cross to the upside. We're only taking shorts, right? So boom, right here, short, and look where it is. Let's bring that line over right there. Should we take this short? You got the 5089 crossover, produces the short signal, and look where it is on CCI 1 hour. Below 200. Wow. Cycling down below 200 also. Very strong short signal. I will update this for you guys today. And then boom, there you go. Partial target hit. And then it kind of reverses, right? And we're just about to get the crossover to the upside here, but we don't have all the conditions met, right? Let's say we get the crossover somewhere around here. We're still below the 0 line on 3-hour. Well, we might have it on the 1 hour, but we need both, right? So it's just another added feature. So I was able to advance that. And it seems to work best when you only have one, not both, enabled. You get a little bit of wacky signals. So you can just look at the shorts, or you can just look at going long. And that seems to work the best. But I was able to add that CCI component to the strategy. And you can do it manually. Again, the strategy is just for back testing purposes, right? Let's go back to the NASDAQ and here we go. All right, let's see it. Let's start to see it. ADR checkpoints, turn that off. Kind of just hover in there. ADR all the way up there. Oh man, all the way up there. Do we push our luck? See, if we had two contracts, man, that'd be great. So difficult trading just one contract. Don't know how far it's going to go. There's previous day's high, and that's like a 1-to-1, isn't it? Previous day's high right there. We really want to lock in $1,000. Maybe we get a little bit more of a. Maybe we can hit that target, jump in again, take the retest. That's really what we need to do for the competition with one contract. You got to take those targets, and especially with that sideways kind of movement there. All right, starting to break out here now. Let's jump to the 5 minute and see what that looks like. 5 minute chart, we definitely have the breakout to the upside, so we have confirmation now. We've got confirmation on the 5 minute chart with all our components met for an upward move. That's very good. That is a very good sign. That is a very good sign.
Well, this candle finally broke above all that noise on the left.
Let's take a look there. Yes, look at that. Very nice. Yeah, we like seeing that, right?
We do.
All that noise there broke above that. So this has formed a drop base rally on the 5 minute chart. Let's take a close look at it. Drop base rally. And let's hope we get a nice follow through, because if it does return, we would have this to work with right there.
It has a little bit of supply it's going to hit here in a couple minutes at the 21,839.
Let's see, 5 minute chart or 15 minute? 15?
Yeah, I'm on the 15.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yep, there it is. Yep, we've definitely got
That marked up already.
Yep. Yep. Wow, really nice move there. Yeah, are we going to get some? Here's the body of the candle right here, with all that upward movement. Wow, look at that. How did we know to get in on this trade? We had a strategy, we had components that were met. We've back tested this thing. It really gives us some results that are around 68 to 70% win rate. That's pretty darn good. That's pretty darn good. I definitely want to take that. I definitely want to take that previous day's high as a target. That is, hopefully we don't. We should get some kind of reaction, right? Hopefully we don't. But 15 minute chart here. Hopefully we get a nice breakthrough of this. But we've got to lock in because we're extended, right? Maybe if we weren't extended on this 15 minute chart, I would trail this thing. But because we're extended, we're probably going to get some sort of deep pullback. 39 seconds left. Okay, let's get a nice move. Let's lock in $1,000, right? We've got to start to climb the charts here. Look at that, starting to climb the charts. $50,000. What are these guys trading? What they're trading. Okay, nice. There we go. That's a really nice bullish 15-minute candle there. Wow. I really, at this point, when you look at this, it's like, oh man, I really want to, move that price target there, profit target, move it back to the ADR. What if it goes to the ADR? But you can't really do that, right? You've got to kind of look at what you've got, look at the chart. Here's the visual. Do we want a complete reversal here either? No, right? No, we don't. We could do something like this. If it does pull back, we've got this demand zone here. If it pulls back, takes us out for like maybe 10, then we take it again down in here. That's a good plan as well, right? If it does pull back deep, takes us out, we can get back in here, take it again. One contract, man, that's hard to. You've got to think these things through. And it is pulling. Well, let's see. How far did it go? Yeah, look at that. Look at that, Phyllis. It went right to the body. See how much value? There's so much value in the body of the candles. Look at that. Let's make it a dotted line. There's so much value in the body of those candles.
I'm just wanting it to get past that. Out.
Yeah, I know. Yes.
I just, for me,
Yes.
want to come up above that. And
It's like, come on, like get there already. I got to get to the gym. I want to finish some toast. Yeah, I know. So you got to say, wow, I read the chart. Like
yep.
sometimes you gotta step back and be like, you know what? How many people out there can actually read a chart like this? And when you talk to people, they're like, what are you talking about?
Well, the 1 hour CCI looks in our favor. So, and so does the 3 hour. So it looks in our favors.
Look at nice, look at that. Yeah. So and look at how the 50 simple also on the 1 hour chart is starting to turn up.
Just by inch it is.
Yes, those little details. See how it's just like just starting. Very nice, nice bullish candles here. So we took the chance, right? We saw this side. We saw that we had all our components met, but we did see a slight bit of pullback with a sideways, price action. And, we said, okay, well, do we not take the trade because of that? Or do we take the trade and just proceed with caution? And that's what we're doing, right? We took the trade, proceeding with caution. Where is it going to get to? How right are we? We're always partially correct. Like we get the most of it, right? But we might not get the whole 100% thing. Enter here, then it's going to stop right here and pull back. Like we may not have all of that, but we get we get pretty close. We get pretty close. So that's really all you can ask for. So let's see if we stay above this dotted line here, and we'll take that previous day's high as a target. I think that's a smart target to take for today. It's 10:20. We're kind of right on schedule. Right, if we could get this trade done, by 10:30, I think that would be quite successful. And then we'll talk about a pullback, But it is what it is, right? Look, we're in a risk-free trade, and it's like we're going to take what the market gives us. We will take what the market gives us. And this is the stressful part, right? It's like, wow, well, there's almost $900 on the board right now. Do I take that? Or do I wait, you know, for the target to be hit and then, it completely reverses and stops us out for $30, like, oh, well, we had a chance to make 900, but, it reversed and, took us out at $30. We only made $30 and we spent a whole hour on this thing. That's, oh God, those are terrible days, but you can't, you don't know when that's going to happen. So I guess it's, don't really get frustrated about that when that happens. You just take what the market gives you. Hey, how'd you do today? Well, only made $30, And then if you're too tight and you say, well, I'm gonna, go for it, put my stop right there under that 15-minute candle, pulls back, and then goes to the target. It's really looking like, I mean, we've got some very strong readings here. I would definitely give it the room it needs to work itself out and hit that first target, previous day's high target. I think that's a good target. Here's the 3 hour high is right up here. That's the 3 hour high. 6 minutes left. We don't want a complete reversal, right? Here's 500. 500. If we go here, we lock in 6. Don't want that candle to reverse on us. We're really boxing it in here, right? Trying to get the most out of the day. Where's that previous day's high? Going to front run that previous day's high just a bit. It is what it is. That's what I'm going to take. I'm going to get the most out of it. Again, if we had 2 contracts or 3 contracts, it would make our life so much easier, wouldn't it? We could take one target here, right? It pulls back, capture that move, pulls back a little bit more, and then goes up. You have more room to actually money on those multiple contracts. And you can do that in the prop trading account. Thank goodness, right? Competition, they only gave us 1 contract. They want to make it really tough for us. That's okay. We will take whatever the market gives us. And hopefully, we'll be right or partially correct for the majority of this move. Almost there, man. It's almost there. Is it possible that it could like come down just a little bit more and then go? Yeah, yeah. But we can't help that. We just can't help it. Can't help that. All right, we want to lock in as much money as possible. We've only got 1 contract, so it's either going to be $1,000 or 615, and we'll just throw it on the pile, start climbing the board with all that momentum. With all that momentum, I'm wondering if we'll get to that ADR checkpoint. It is quite a bit away. It is quite a ways away. We have to get through the 3-hour supply first, and hopefully we can survive it with this candle here. But we may get a pullback, and that's okay.
As we look at it right now, minute by minute, just wanting it to clear that current supply it's in, and
Yep.
then it's got the 3-hour supply ahead of it, you think, no way is it ever getting to the ADR. But then you come back at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, it did,
Yeah. Yeah.
time.
Yep. Yep. And so if you had multiple contracts,
Sure. Yeah.
and that's a great lesson. It's such a great lesson when you first discover like, wow, I thought it was going to be harder to trade more contracts, or it's actually much easier.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's a great feeling when it works out. It's such a great feeling. It's like, wow, look, I took those targets and scaled out of the position. Okay, all right, little kind of a neutral candle, right? A little spinning top, but it
It
closed
did.
above that purple line there. So now we're actually below the new candle, which is nice. Maybe this is a rally-based rally that's trying to form here, move up. And the reason why, whoa, my goodness. Looks like whoa, look at that, Phyllis. Hey, we made it. A bit of a lag. There's a bit of lag there. Beautiful. Very nice. Very nice. Hit that. We survived it. Survived it.
We did. We got past. And look, it's doing so with such momentum now.
Yeah. Now look at the momentum. Now it's really, but we called it, right? We called the shots from the beginning in a very detailed and descriptive way because we've got something that's very visual, right? It's like, look at that 50 simple kind of flat, but everything else is still in our favor. Gotta go follow through with the strategy. Don't know how far it's going to go, right? But in this particular case, we were correct 100%.
Yeah,
Like we
absolutely.
weren't, usually you're partially correct more often than not, right? And in this case, from entry to the stop loss to the target, we were 100% correct. That's phenomenal. We don't have a crystal ball. We read price action, and multiple targets, hey, that would have been really nice. That would have been really nice. So there you go. ADR, right? Miles away. Woo! Look at that. 5,000, 5,000 smackers awaits up there, But to take, if you think of it like a sandwich, you've got the bottom piece of the bread, the top piece of the bread, and then the meat in the middle. You're trying to get that you're trying to just go for the meat in the middle, and how do you do that without really overextending yourself or you know taking too much of a risk? we
Right.
picked a good target, previous day's high. Now it's like, okay, if it stays above the previous day's high and we get some sort of a pullback with all this strong momentum, then you can start looking for another move. It is what it is, right? So if
Absolutely.
we, yeah, yeah, I think if we left it all the way at the, maybe the top of this, this is where I would take the second target, right? At the body of the candle, right up here, body of that candle.
Right.
Nice second target. And then you've just got this just miles of no man's land until you get to that ADR checkpoint for today. So, yeah, so who knows? Maybe by 4 o'clock or something. But we do have this down here now. So we took this nice target
Right.
and we do have, if it kind of comes back and boom, kind of dips back and hits that man zone, we'll have something quite significant there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, excellent, guys. All right, great job. Fantastic. Recorded everything. I'll edit the video and post it into the chat, and we can look upon this with victory.
Victory. Well,
Victory.
have a day. Have a great day, sir, and we will see you tomorrow.
Sounds good, Phyllis. I will see you tomorrow.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. Take care, Eddie.